crash in front, to left, right.
Well, good morning, everybody. This is a terrible idea, but we're going to try it anyway. Fuck.
Audi. Bad.
What?
What?
They
just
restarted
restarted
the server.
Oh.
That's not going to sit well with a lot of people.
What the fuck?
Definitely wasn't reading the stream there.
God, I'm not finishing, am I?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Main thing is you didn't hit anyone else.
Go right on the grass.
Yeah, go right, yeah.
Was it the curb?
Yep.
Yep. It was the bus stop.
Are you any damage on the left, on the front right?
I think we're good.
I think it's fine. I just bounced a bit.
We'll have some optional suspension and stop, but that'll be it.
Sounded like a bus fucking ran over you.
I almost lost it in the wall.
Yeah, no, you did an excellent job catching that.
It was just the desk.
Nicely manoeuvred. Oh my Christ!
Fuck me!
Damage.
Oh yeah, like front, but
Okay.
that could have been a lot worse.
Oh my God.
You're right, Jamie. They're going to restart.
Oh
They're
my
not
God.
restarting again, are they?
No way.
I missed. What the hell? I missed that.
It was the biggest pineapple MC I've ever seen.
Ridiculous.
It's about 20 cars all in.
They're still recovering. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That was Euless as well.
Crash ahead, again. Rear, yellow one.
Up. Oh
Go.
no. Dan. No. What?
Oh shit.
Dude, we're gonna get disqualified. Dan.
Dan.
Slow down and get back.
What the hell happened there?
I don't know, you got kicked off of the thing and it... I think we're good.
You're on stream, Jamie. Don't fuck up.
Oh, don't tell me that.
If you do fuck up, make it really spectacular.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to some F1 Manager. As we try to push Aston Martin back into the midfield after what's been a pretty terrible start to the season. And we're starting to make some progress. We put the first upgrades on the car last time out, and wasn't points, but we could fight, and that's the kind of progress we need. And hopefully, we should have some more upgrades. Well, at least one upgrade coming from Miami if we rush it through. But I'm kind of desperate to get some points in the bag to try and help secure 8th, so that we can start focusing on next year's car. So I think we're going to rush the parts, spend the money, and make sure that the new chassis is on the car for Miami. So yeah, let's get going, shall we? So Oscar Piastri, 1 development point already, which is good news. Hopefully he'll be able to develop quickly. There are still a few question marks in this game about how development is done. It seems that drivers, as they get older, don't seem to decrease in ability, which seems a bit off. So it means you've got no real need to get rid of older drivers until they retire, which is a bit of a shame, but that's the way they've done it. But hopefully we can get young drivers developing to at least get them to the level of some of the higher drivers. I kind of want to concentrate on Piastri's smoothness for now, because tyre wear I've found doing a lot of my own McLaren playthrough in this, the tyre life is quite important, and you can get quite a lot deeper into races if you can push the tyres hard. So we're going to put a point into smoothness and try and get that. It's clearly his weakest trait at the moment, so we'll probably be focusing on that for a bit with Piastri, and we'll probably only get maybe 10 development points for the year. So if we can push that up into the 60s, then it'll be good for when hopefully we've got a car to start challenging somewhere further up the grid next year. Right, Imola was pretty bad, although apparently a good race. I mean, it was a much better race than what we had, so we've got to be happy with that, right? We're making some progress, and thankfully the board see that, so that's all good. So let's continue through. We're low on suspension parts at the moment, and underfloor. I'm a little bit worried about Piastri, because he is still a young driver, and he could still make some mistakes. So we probably do need a few more, or at least one more of those. We don't need to rush it either. That'll be here in time for Miami, so that's fine. We'll get that manufactured. And then what's the other part that we don't have enough of? We've got 3 front wings, that's fine. Rear wings, we've got 6 because we haven't developed them yet. Side pods are fine. Suspension was the other one, so let's get one more suspension, just in case Piastri does put it in a wall. He's a young driver, you'd expect that at some point, right? So we just need to make sure we've got enough, and we can continue through to our new chassis. Now I'll see if we rush it, whether we can get it in time, but I've got a feeling we're just going to have to pay for it outright here, which I'm kind of okay with. So we want 2 of them. So normal is not going to be quick enough. We get 1 in time. No, we wouldn't. We wouldn't even get 1. So we're just going to... It's not that much. Like 750, we're not making much more than that. Or we're making quite a lot more than that per race. So I'm happy to just emergency that so that we've got them on the car in time for Miami. And we just need to keep pushing this car forward. We made some good progress last time. Hopefully with the new chassis upgrades will be good as well. New ATR period. So that's what we need to do as well then, is start the next project. What have we got currently? So we're manufacturing those. We've got a new rear wing. So chassis on 2, front wings on 2, rear wings coming. So we need either side pods, or side pods are pretty much the only thing we haven't. So let's get some new side pods underway. Now they have patched the development focus glitch, or so-called glitch. So I think we're going to want one more part development after this. I want big upgrades rather than lots of small ones. So we're going to go half and half on this. And then we've got the next to devote to one more big upgrade for this period. So this focus, you can go all the way to the right now, but it now does seriously impact. If we go on to the next screen first, put the engineers we have in. So you can see 40 days as opposed to, if we put them all back to the middle, 29. It's still not that big a difference. I think they've tweaked something else in it. I still feel like we want to... I still don't see that much negative though. We just go for it. Engine cooling, drag reduction, airflow is not great, but I feel like we can, with the DRS train, we don't need that stuff until they fix that. So let's go for that big upgrade. 40 days isn't too bad. 5 engineers. And on we go then. So we got the parts in development, we've got the new chassis parts ready, so we're pretty much ready to go for Miami then. There's the spare underfloor and the spare suspension, just in case. I mean, Seb might stack it as well, you never know. But I think Piastri is more likely, let's be honest. Right, let's go to race prep. I just don't see the need of doing the bonuses. It really doesn't get you that much money. I've not found... I'm one race away from finishing my... Let's switch to the race now here. I'm one race away from finishing my McLaren playthrough, and I've still not got anywhere near a low amount of money. So I don't know going into next year whether we need a lot of money. I'll find that out soon. And if I do suddenly find myself a long way short of what we need with my McLaren playthrough, then we'll start saving here. But for the moment, I think we're okay to keep spending. Right, Miami. Let's just get them out to get a baseline for where that setup is. The reason I'm doing that is my chat and stuff is in a really weird angle for my mic on. I don't know why it's suddenly... There we go, that'll do. Okay, we're back down the bottom again, but we haven't done setup. They might have terrible setups when they do, so that's fine. Setups I've found such a dark art as well at the moment. You get so lucky sometimes, and other times it's just a nightmare trying to get it in the right place. So we don't want to move that oversteer too much. We need to bring the traction back, which... Biggest change of traction is the anti-roll bar, so we can bring that back that way, and probably use the toe to bring those back. We'll try that end of the cornering and see if that brings it back. We kind of need that oversteer back a little bit. Yeah, let's try that. Let's say it's a dark art. I've watched guides and I'm still like, it's the sort of be and all end all. The guide is like, yeah, you just need to keep using these sliders and work out which ones move others. And I was like, that's kind of what I'm doing already. There's no easy way to do it. Let's try the rear wing angle one that way. As long as they're sort of 70 or 80, I'm happy. And if we luck out with a good setup one weekend, then it's all good. We're a bit higher up. We're getting a little bit closer. Okay. And setup's now in the 60s. That's not great. So we've not hit on a magic formula just yet. So we're going to have to do some work into practice for and probably qualifying. That's fine. Right. Okay, at least we've got some clear indicators. So we need to bring brake stability back. So toe in will change it a bit. So we can get half the way there with that. And then we're going to need... Hey, jeez. Okay, happy with that. Oscar, again, it's fairly obvious we can move the rear wing a bit. I feel like traction probably has to go the other way. We'll try it anyway. I'm not too bothered. I feel like our results or our point score is going to come from a strategy or a mixed up weekend, so I'm not too bothered if 75. We're there with Seb, so we can make a few changes with Oscar going into quali. I think Seb's probably fine where he is. So braking stability we just need to try and bring back the other way. So we can do that fairly easily, and then we need to get the oversteer back under control. That's going to need some more toe to bring that back. And just traction somehow. Maybe one click. No. bring that back in. I feel like that'd be fine. Just check in case anything's massively... So we could improve the brake stability quite comfortably there. Okay, cool. Let's get into qualifying and see if we've actually made any progress with the chassis.
Ready to check?
Yeah. No,
Right, just check for weather. It's going to be dry. So let's just get a little bit into the session to try and get some rubber on track, which is what I try and do now for the first run. And then the second run will be right at the depth of the session. When you've got a competitive car, you can start using one set only. But I feel like we're going to need 2 sets to try and get out of Q1. We managed it with 1 car last time, Piastri. So if we can get it with both this time, then that would be good. And it's showing the right car. Brilliant. That's progress. I don't know what I expected with the patch. I'd hoped that we would see a few more changes than we have. It seems they're aware of certainly the tyre wear issue, where the offset doesn't seem to be too good. I had a very weird issue in the McLaren playthrough where... Well, I'm starting to notice that, like, even things like intermediates and wets, there's not a big enough difference. Like, if you change onto inters when the track is down to that level, and the AI just stay on wets because they like to do that, you're about a second a lap quicker even when the track's almost dry, which I feel is, again, just totally unrealistic. So we need a lot of balancing and things that I think will really change this game from a 0 to a... Not from a 0, but from an 8 to a 10, shall we say. Evening Vox, how you doing? Yeah, that one's a quick fix. I think the next one is probably going to be a much bigger one, possibly Friday or next week. Yeah, I would expect we're probably going to have to be waiting a little while, at least a week, yeah, maybe 2. And I'm hoping, yeah, it's a balancing thing. Because everyone's saying the same things about the tyres, about the DRS trains. Like, DRS trains are so... Once you get a semi-competitive midfield car, it's so easy to game. Like, if you can get your car onto the back of the top 4, like the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, right at the beginning of the race, then you're home free, because you just stay in that DRS train and you gap the midfield by like a second a lap, even though your car doesn't have that pace. It's a little bit gamey and a bit too easy to game the system at the moment. Also, upgrade paths seem to be but the AI, it's so easy to catch up with the AI and surpass them. They don't seem to be making as bigger upgrades as the player does, but that's a minor one at the moment. Right, Vettel will be first across the line, and Piastri was even. No, Vettel goes 5th, Piastri goes 3rd. What? What kind of magnificent chassis have we built here? We've just blitzed the field with a single chassis upgrade. Okay, maybe the balance between player and AI with upgrades does need to be addressed. We'll see. It's only the first lap in Q1, but... yeah, I mean, now we've got some quicker times coming in, but we're much more competitive, it seems like, than we were even last time out at Imola. Okay, there's some bigger times coming in now, but we'll get a run on the improved. I'm almost at the point where I'm now questioning whether we need to use a new set or whether the track evolution will be enough just to put on the used tyres again. I feel like we've got to get both cars out of Q1 this time, right? It's gonna sort of cement that the car's moving forward. So I think we will use a second set just to make sure. But this is a massive win for Aston Martin. This is why you recommend using the presets in part development. Also, it's not in fact evening for me. Just having an afternoon without meetings, so I can actually watch it. Like, I know it is. I'm gonna say evening. I can't react to everybody in their current time zones, otherwise it'll be a mess. Well, I went maximum on the sliders for that chassis, and apparently It works out. Or are you saying that you use the defaults because you don't want to game the system too much? You don't want to Haas winning by the end of Season 1. I'm just sitting here chatting. I thought we'd already sent the cars out. We haven't. So, let's get them out. Well, they're not going to have traffic, because at least they're at the back of the field. They should get round. There's a Haas behind us. That suggests we'll definitely get round. And I've found that now I use automatic, they find space on their own. So I don't feel it's a problem to send out in traffic. It's when you've got a car on their out lap and you're on an in lap that there's a real problem. You don't want to game it. Yeah. I've made some stonking progress with McLaren over the course of 1 year. It's the point that Lando Norris has a couple of wins under his belt and should have had 3, bar for a strategy disaster from me. Right, Vettel is the one that needs improvement, but to be fair, there's less than a tenth, or just over a tenth, between the two of them. So there's a lot of improvement that could probably be found throughout the grid. Bottas definitely out of position there, so is Russell. So we're going to need improvements from these guys to try and get both cars through to Q2 for the first time. But what an improvement that would be if we manage that. Seb's not improving. Not good news. Piastri going quicker in the first sector. Oh, I didn't mean to speed that up too much. Seb not improving either. Not good. That was yellow flag somewhere. That wasn't us, was it? Oh, Zhou has put it in the barrier in qualifying. Luckily, hopefully, we don't slow down because of a yellow flag. Vettel is now dangerously close. But it'll be Piastri that crosses the line. No, it is Vettel. And he doesn't improve. Piastri. I feel like that is a bit of an improvement because it's now 2 tenths ahead of Vettel. But we have 2 cars through to Q2. The chassis is working. Lovely. Okay. And Piastri might even threaten for Q3 here. So that setup did improve. We're at 97 for Vettel. This is why I feel like car setup doesn't do much. Like, Piastri should not be out qualifying Seb with that kind of confidence level. But there we go. Then again, Piastri, all his points are in speed. He's weak in other areas. So.
Radio check. Green light, green light.
Right, we're going to whack on the used set for the first run. And then we'll have a used set for the end. Still don't understand who went to let's have all tyre compounds at the same pace and barely degrade. Should be a massive focus. I know. There is a difference. It's just not as extreme as you feel it should be. I know these tyres are much better this year. But I feel like it's a bit too extreme, like the lack of difference. And the fact that the pace doesn't really decrease till you get to 30%. So you can sort of just attack on them the whole way through, especially the tracks that have low tyre deg. That means it's an easy one-stop. You just attack the whole race on them and don't really see any pace difference. There's a lot of balancing changes, but I think it's, as a lot of people have said, right, it's such a good base that the fact we're talking about balancing changes and a few AI things, is that the end of the world? No, it's fixable. Let's just, this will tell a lot about Frontier now, whether they do start making those kind of changes, though. Because, you know, if they make those balancing changes, it will fundamentally change the game quite a lot. It's whether they have the strength to do that. But I hope they do. Because it'll be a bit more complicated for non-F1 fans, but it's how it should be. Piastri's in traffic, lovely. It's the used tyre run, it's fine. So we'll see what kind of pace they've got. So you'd expect Vettel to have the quicker time of the two drivers here. As Vettel comes down to the line then, puts himself third at the moment, 9/10 off the Mercedes. That's not too bad. Let's see what Piastri can do. And he goes fifth, yeah, so definitely got held up there. And not as good a time as he hoped, but we got one more run on the new set. And Vettel's time's pretty decent on a used set. That's more like it. Piastri's probably going to be 15th before the final run. But I'm starting to smell points this race. If it carries on like this, we should be able to race from it. Right. Out you go, boys. And we'll see what they can do now. It'd be nice to get one car through the Q3. Vettel currently doing enough, but again, I'd expect both of them to improve on this one. Yep, we'll see how much they react to it. Hopefully they improve it, but we'll see. I still recommend Motorsport Manager for now and give this game about a month or so for fixes. I feel I would hate going back to Motorsport Manager. We've talked about it a lot, right? But the graphics and the presentation is just so far above it that I think I'd kind of prefer that over the strategy at the moment, or like the little tweaks. Because I mean, Motorsport Manager had so many bugs and like things you could do to game the system that are still in the game. Mods have sort of tried to remove them, but I feel like they're still there. Quite a lot of them. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll reinstall it over the weekend and just, now that we've got this fresh perspective on F1 Manager, just see what I feel about it. But yeah, I completely agree with, you know, if you want to wait a month, that's probably the right thing to do, because hopefully they've got rid of those issues. Right, let's see what you can do, boys. Come on. Could it be a double Q3? That's probably a bit ambitious. One car, I'll allow that. That'll be fine. I legit think after winning House World Drivers' Championship, I might go back to Motorsport Manager. Okay. I mean, by the time you win the championship at your current rate of playing the game, I mean, this should be patched to the point where it's a lot better, I'd hope. But it's the thing; it's not a quick game, and I rarely find myself pulling out of like the view of 2 times speed, like 4 and 8, without being able to see the car. It really irritates me unless I'm like really clear in a position or completely out of the points, and you know, then you speed it up. Right, Seb not improving, but he got a good time in on his first effort. Piastri thankfully is improving, and doesn't look like he's hit any traffic apart from his teammate, but he might get a distant tow down this long straight now. Vettel down to 11th, so Vettel with 2 yellow sectors doesn't look like he's going to be getting through to Q3, so our hopes might be with Oscar Piastri here, but you never know. With the fresh tyres, he might blitz this final sector and improve. We'll see. Vettel first across the line then. Moves up to 12th. He did improve. Piastri goes 11th. Oh, he's now down to 12th. I was going to say he was less than 1,000th of a second away from Q3. And then we get bumped a little further. 12th and 14th. That shows some good progress. First 3 races we were here. Last race we were here, and now both cars through to Q2 and narrowly avoiding Q3. Not bad, to be honest. And if we can get some strategy right and a bit of luck going our way, we might get some points on the board this one. but we'll have to wait and see.
That puts them in a very good position to make the most of this race start. And the clouds today look very
It's funny, I only noticed a few days ago that all the trailers had the same car model. They have actually made all the car models. I didn't see anybody making a big deal out of it. Probably just something that everyone saw was in it and knew, and I'm the last to know, as usual. But I genuinely thought all the cars were still the same, like the trailers, and they're not, which I really like. Like Mercedes got the proper slim no pod design on it. Ferrari's got the thing, the Haas got the little grills. It's good. Right. Dry race. Probably going to be a one-stop, although it's given me a lot of two-stop strategies, so I'll have to have a look. So we go to the tried and tested one-stop. Yeah, it's going to be close on a... It's not really going to be... I think we might be going with a two-stop here. So what have we got available? We've got 2 mediums, 1 hard, 1 new set of soft tyres for Vettel. Piastri's got the same, so 1 new set of softs, hards and mediums. Right, let's make a couple of two-stops and see what the game thinks of them. So let's try one of trying to get into the top 10 quickly and having a quick first stint, maybe then 2 mediums. Okay, so legit strategy, but we couldn't push very much. So let's try a medium hard. Probably going to have far too much life, but that should mean we can push a bit more. Yeah, so that at the moment would be my preferred, because we could just attack the race. And then we could potentially do it with a hard stint in the middle. I think it's going to give us the same time presumption on that. So the soft. Okay, so it's slightly quicker if we go hards in the middle. Let's just throw a very conservative one-stop in there, just to see what the game says. So we probably have to go super conservative to do it. And yeah, it's nearly 40 seconds slower, so it's going to be a one-stop. So I think we'll split the strategies. We'll go medium, hard with Piastri, and then we'll go medium, hard, medium with Seb. So we can be super aggressive with Piastri, and Vettel can play the long game a little bit in the middle. But now, why is Seb... Oh, I've moved the hard the wrong way. There we go. Cool. Right, that's what we're going to go with. Super aggressive two-stop. Yeah, it never bothered me. I really don't care about the car models. Livery editing would be nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll add that stuff eventually. I didn't think it mattered to me, Fox, but turns out it does when it's done this well.
Who've now taken position on the grid. Aston Martin there.
Right.
Slower than most yesterday, so today
Well, that's a bit harsh, Crofty. I wouldn't say we were slower than most. We're solidly in the midfield.
With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. And we're just moments away now.
Right. Feeling good about this race, boys. It's our first chance where I feel like we can be aggressive and try and achieve something here. And similar to the last race, we just go hard. If we don't get points, we don't get points. Underway then. Piastri ahead of Vettel as we come down to turn 1. We've got the McLaren of Norris on the inside there. Vettel fighting him hard around the outside. I haven't done any of these because I'm a noob. Good job, Jay. Right, that might help. Nope, let's not go 16 times. Jesus. Okay, not the ideal start. But hopefully we can get some back towards the end of the race, or the end of the stint, should I say. We need to add in more driver hits and probably like random models for new gens. Yeah, I've not seen new gens in the game yet, so I don't know if they have models. But I completely agree with you. I feel like if they pick a weekend where the F2 and the F3 drivers are in the paddock, it wouldn't be that hard to scan it, right? The hard thing is getting all the equipment and setting it up. If they're doing that for the F1 drivers, they could very easily do it for the F2 as well. You would feel. Right, we need to make a bit of progress here. So currently the gap developing between the top 4 and the rest of the field, like you'd expect. Late move from Piastri. Couldn't get it done though, as he looks to make a move down the outside of Norris, and he gets that done. Makes it stick.
Good job.
It's moving back to neutral. We'll keep the fuel and the tyres up for a couple of laps. Just to see if we can make a bit more progress.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
And, Vettel looking to line up Norris now. McLaren really struggling early in this season. I've not really seen what the game does with them yet because I've been playing them so much. So it's interesting to see. I mean, they have been struggling a bit this season. But they have been able to pull off the odd good result. Piastri is now past Magnussen as well, so making some really good progress.
Good.
So we'll keep him pushing for now, because he looks like he's starting to make up some positions.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
So Vettel now looking to make a move on Norris into the final corner. Getting a little bit blocked in from Magnussen.
DRS will be active.
Keep his overtake on. We'll see if he can maybe make this a double overtake.
That's it.
On Kevin Magnussen, as he started on the hard tyres. That's why that gap is developing. No, no good. So let's go back to neutral. Hopefully, this is the other thing I've noticed. When you're sitting in fuel, this fuel reading's very inaccurate because they've both got the same amount of fuel, but because Seb is in a slipstream, it thinks he's got way more fuel than he does. So I'd kind of ignore these numbers and just make sure your drivers have a similar amount. And then hope that it's enough by the end. Right, how's Piastri getting on? He's on to the back of Gasly now. He's out of that DRS train on Magnussen, so he's in the fight for the points. This is what we want. There's a gap developing ahead of Ocon, so that's where we need to get. We need to get onto the back of Russell and try and pull away from this train. Piastri round the outside, thinks better of it. Again, we've seen that already this season. Piastri not as confident on the overtakes. We are going to push his fuel back a little bit now.
Save fuel, save fuel.
But we're going to stay hard on the tyres because that's the strategy, right? We're going to stay super aggressive and see if we can make some progress. So we need to be breaking that gap to Magnussen again. Hopefully Vettel can get back into the slipstream train, even though he moved his fuel down a little bit. He needs a bit of harvesting at some point, but he's alright for the moment. He's actually closed right onto the back of Piastri by the end of that lap, which is good news. And Magnussen is almost out of that second. We don't have much choice about whether we can break it though, that's the problem. Because we've got these two ahead that are sort of boxing us in at the moment. So let's use a bit of fuel down here. Piastri's got plenty of overtake. So let's see if he can get Gasly as well.
Use overtake. Copy.
And both our drivers sound like they're half asleep as usual. Not much enthusiasm there. All concentrating very hard. One of the two. Right, Magnussen's actually on the back of Vettel now. Piastri is super quick in qualifying, but he just doesn't make the moves like I've seen other drivers do. Vettel will probably be better equipped to attack, but he needs some energy recovery. So we're going to have a lap of harvesting.
We just need to charge up.
Piastri, unfortunately, Gasly got into the slipstream of Ocon there, and that's done us a little bit. So we'll get to the end of this lap and maybe attack again. If you want an excited driver, apparently Yuki is the... Oh, I can imagine. I don't think that guy ever says anything dull. I think he's worth... Well, I think he's worth hiring just for that, but according to Liam, he's having a terrible season with AlphaTauri with him, so you might get good radio messages, but he's not the best driver for your team currently. That's enough harvesting for Seb. That should come up naturally now. We'll keep pushing on the fuel because we're in the slipstream, so we're saving. I'd really love to try and get in this pocket. If we can somehow find a way to get past Gasly and Ocon and get onto the back of George Russell, then I can calm it down a bit on the tyres and the fuel. While we're in this train, we could finish 17th or 18th, or we could finish 11th and 12th. It's a bit dangerous where it... Oh, Jesus, Oscar! What are you doing, mate?
We can take a look now. So this was
That's the first time I've ever seen one on board. It's just completely locked up. He's taken out Pierre Gasly. Oh, that's not good news. Oh, Oscar, I don't think we've got... Have we got another front wing? Oh, for fuck's sake, lad. I told you we had to build more parts, just in case Oscar stacks it somewhere. Oh, this makes strategy a nightmare. We've got that set of soft tyres if we need, so I feel like we go to medium because we're going to be in some fresh air here. We have got a front wing, thankfully. We've got one left after that. And we have to box him. Oh, Oscar. What, the pit lane's there? What? What? That annoys me as well. Like, you have to be so early to get him to... He's going to do an entire lap now. Well, we might as well save some fuel, mate.
Save fuel.
Oh dear. That scared the crap out of me. I've never had it on board with the driver. That was a moment. Right, I need Vettel to push, but he is pushing at the moment. Yeah, Colton Herta is slated for an AlphaTauri seat if Gasly goes to Alpine. I heard that as well, yeah. I feel like he's the wrong IndyCar driver, but I would just be excited to see one come into F1 and see what he can do, right? I think that's a really good call. And from a like a PR point of view and a marketing point of view, that's a dream. So, and Red Bull are a bit light on... I mean, Liam Lawson's still in the family, I think, but the rest of them are pretty young at the moment, so that'd be a really good call. Alright, we need to go... Now we're back in that tow, we need to go back down to balanced.
Okay, so just lift and coast.
Piastri's going to need a safety car now to get back into this, but we'll give it a shot. We'll give him our best strategy. Vettel now looking to make a move on Ocon. This is what we need. Unfortunately, it's been caused by Piastri crashing into the back of him. Right, let's have a deploy lap. Piastri into the pit lane then. So we need Vettel to have the lap of his life here to try and break the slipstream. It was very dramatic. It woke me up, I must say.
If you need it.
Vettel gap at 3 tenths. He doesn't quite have the pace I thought he did, unfortunately. I'd like to see Pato Award to be... I presume he had a penalty, did he? Oh no, it doesn't show a animation, does it, for the front wing? It's not something I've seen very often from my drivers, having Ricciardo and Norris in McLaren. Right. Yeah, you've just got to push now, mate. Just push. Nothing else we can do. Vettel. Oh, he got 8 tenths by the time he got to the DRS.
Need to charge DRS.
He's actually got to a second. Because Ocon's defending here, we might have broken the tow, which will be good news. Yeah, I'd like to see Pato Award. I feel like he's the better prospect of the two. But, you know, I don't watch IndyCar that often, so I can't guarantee that. Using that deploy has not helped us. Okay, we're going to have to go a bit more conservative now with Vettel. He's not going to be able to break away. We have to hope he can stay at the front of that train, charge up the ERS, get a bit of fuel back, and then he can try and break away again. Oscar Piastri. He should catch the Williams by the end at least. We're going to have to... we got two options with Oscar. We're either really careful on the tyres to try and then just put the hards... Yeah, we're probably going to have to do that, to be honest. We need to go as long as possible.
Yeah, take it easy.
I was thinking we maybe go aggressive and we can use the softs at the end, but... Actually, no. Why not? Why be conservative and finish like 17th, 18th? And if he pushes, he might be able to get himself back into the pit stop window of a few drivers. Right, Ocon has got back past Vettel. That's fine. We need a bit of charge. I think we're not going to break away as we hoped, so we'll have to do something on strategy a little bit later. He's fine where he is for the moment. Unfortunately, Pato was a part of Red Bull and didn't perform in F2 and Super Formula. Granted, he only got like 2 races in each and they chucked it. Well, that's what I mean. Like, 2 races in F2 is when you've been in... He was in IndyCar Lights, right? So... Like, it's not a fair comparison to then chuck them in for 2 races and expect them to have adapted. But and Super Formula is super competitive as well. I mean, there's some seriously good Japanese drivers, like experienced drivers in that field. So I feel like it's a bit unfair, but you know, as long as we get to see one of them, I'm no doubt they're both great prospects. But we'll see. So Vettel has got back ahead of Ocon. So he's got a decent amount of pace. We just need to pick the right moment to sort of spring the attack here. So he had enough that lap to defend on the pit straight, which is good. So now we can do a full harvest lap. And then probably at the beginning of the next lap we'll go full deploy, full attack and try and break that DRS. Because it is critical. Piastri making good strides into the Williams, not really anybody else. I don't think, anyway. See, at 36.2. No, he's about the same as Vettel. A little bit quicker. So, yeah, he's not going to make any great strides, but we can do the best we can with him in this race. That was always the risk with a younger driver. And we kind of prefaced it with saying we needed to build parts in case he crashed. And he crashed immediately. The harvesting irritates me sometimes as well, because I feel like you get more in neutral some laps. Right, come on. Full attack, Seb. Let's try and break the toe.
Use energy if you need.
We can't do it this lap. We probably just don't have the pace, and we need to back off a bit and probably try and undercut these guys or go a bit longer. One of the two. To make it work. See what we can do. He's not exactly blasting away. Probably will help a bit to try and get rid of the DRS on this next lap. Rest of the deploy. Oh, I keep doing that. Okay, he's got, say he got to about 7 tenths. This is what irritates me with the slipstream. Like, we've clearly got more pace, but we just cannot. It probably annoys real teams as well. It's just massively overpowered in this game. Right, we're going to have to cut it back because we're using far too much fuel. Same with Oscar. He's starting to get... Well, Gasly's pitting. He's 13 seconds behind him, so... But we'll save the fuel. Let's play it as though there's going to be a safety car or something to bring him back into it. Vettel's just going to have to sit with these guys now and we're going to have to do something on strategy to try and get that gap. But we've got the pace to be fighting for a point, which is progress, definitely. Yeah, he absolutely didn't get a fair shake, but I don't think F1 is closed off to him just yet. If Further adapts, young indie stars will be getting attention of F1 driver teams. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's why it's great, because we need to see how they get on, right? And if it's against Yuki, who's, you know, he's done such a great job. The second half of last season and this season, it's a really good comparison. So if he can match or, you know, quickly get on the level of Yuki or even just blow him away, that's the thing. There's always the question mark. Until we see it, we have no idea how good these young drivers actually are. So yeah, we absolutely need to see it. Alright. We'll just let this DRS train play out for a few laps, because this is what happens in this game, unfortunately. Alright, how are we on pit window? What if we switch to the mediums? Come out 17th. Is that going to be in traffic? No. So we got a big gap. If we can get out ahead of Albon. Alright, let's pull the trigger. Let's say we want points or bust.
Box.
We'll try something a little unconventional here. Vettel is also... Oh, we had him harvesting, didn't we? Yeah, let's take the harvest off. And see what we can do. Piastri's ahead of a Latifi after a pit stop at least. He is probably going to have to make an extra stop at some point than Latifi. Right, Vettel in pit lane. Let's have a good stop, boys. We need to get out ahead of Albon here. I think we should do comfortably. Never quite sure where it's going to release, because the pit limiter was about 100 metres ago. And now he gets going. Good. Right. So use some fuel, maximum attack on these tyres, and we'll see if we can undercut the likes of Ocon and Magnussen to try and get out of that DRS train. If we can break that, then I don't mind using more tyres to then let up a bit at the end. As soon as we get out of that DRS train, it absolutely changes our race. So we need to push like hell to do so. Piastri's fine where he is. I'm fully sort of nailed into the fact we're just going to force stop him. We're going to go mediums, then hards, then probably softs at the end for a sprint. We'll hold those softs as long as possible, just in case there's a safety car. But it's his own mess, and he's going to lie in it. You know, he completely ruined Gasly's race, and he scared the life out of me. So I feel like 4 stops will be his punishment. Right, how's Vettel doing? Haven't had a full lap yet. Need a full lap to see if the undercut's working. I'm not expecting miracles, but if we can be a couple, sort of half a second a lap quicker, then by the time those guys pits, the ideal here. Oh, got a yellow flag.
Yellow ahead.
Presume that's a spin, as it hasn't said yet. Young Yuki-san battling away with Mick. Just loses the rear end, and oh, he's held Mick and show up there. That might help Piastri a bit, maybe. Seb has just gone purple, I think. That was Seb. Oh no, it's Sainz. Why did I think that was Seb? Who knows? Alright. What's he done? It's 35.9. This is enough. This is enough. And he's back out. There's Norris. 1.4 ahead of Norris. Right, keep pushing. Keep that gap. And we're in business here, boys. Piastri overtakes Albon in the pits. He's going to have to stop again at some point. I know we're going to have to save fuel, but Yuki and Mick must have seen my comment. Probably. Sounds like Yuki may be gone soon if Honda do not review. Porsche may ask for a German driver. It sounds like a possible Schumacher switch. I feel like there's a lot of interest in Mick. I don't see why. I mean, he's starting to match Magnussen, but not enough. I know it's from the marketing perspective, but as much as I want to see him succeed, I feel like it's not the best choice. But then maybe stepping into a different team, you might see him suddenly start to thrive. You don't know. Right, we've got that gap at 2.5, so let's back down on the fuel. Norris was... I think he was right there with Ocon and Magnussen, so I think this is going to do a good job for us. He should be clear of that group. And then we can start to dial back the tyres, but we need to make sure we make that gap work. Also depends what strategy those guys are doing. I mean, what tyres are they on? I mean, Ricciardo's in now. Okay, so Magnussen and Ocon started on the hard tyres. So they might be trying to push a one-stop here. So McLaren, I think, are on a 2. We should comfortably get ahead of Ricciardo here, and we do. Lovely. Vettel's still in the 35, so we're eating time out of Alonso and Russell here as well. Providing they're 2-stopping. They're 1-stopping, then it's a tricky race. So let's carry on. Piastri's got quite a few more laps to go. Is he quicker than Gasly at the moment on those hard tyres? He is. So Piastri's in the 35s as well. So I feel like that's the best strategy with him, is to just keep pushing and see if we can get it back into it. To be fair, if he can even get ahead of one non-Williams car, then that's a pretty staggering recovery. And Seb is still gapping Norris, even with the fuel down. I know it's because we're absolutely attacking these tyres. I kind of want to wait for wait till everybody's at least made their one stop. If they're 2-stopping, they would have probably stopped by now. If they're 1-stopping, I want to make sure we're clear of them. Then we can back down the tyres and try and take them as long as possible. But it's looking really good for Seb at the moment. There was definitely no rain, was there? No. So the only thing that can get in our way is a safety car now. I feel like we're on the right strategy. We will have to manage it a bit towards the end. And obviously get the fuel back down in the right direction. But I feel like if we can get the gap and then just look after those hard tyres on the last stint, I'm fairly sure we can get to the flag. But even at this kind of pace, we might catch them, to be honest, by the end. So it might not matter. So I think we're going to be in the lull of the race at the moment. I'm still not going to use 4-speed. I want to, but at the same time I don't. Let's go back with Piastri. He's continually chipping away at Gasly. Not quite as quick now, unfortunately. He's in the race. He's in the race. We might just throw his hard tyres on and see how far he can take them at the end. It's, Gasly is actually just past Mick, so it might be Mick that he catches next. Vettel's nearly onto the back of Tsunoda. He's now 7 seconds clear of Norris. You see, even if we had to make one more stop than the McLarens, which I don't think we're going to have to, I feel like the McLarens are 2-stopping. But this shows you how much more pace you've got when the AI aren't in DRS train. Because we're just disappearing from them. And they were right on the back of that train, and we were attacking at that point as well. It's just horribly overpowered, and it can ruin your race. You have to try everything you can to get out of it. And then you can actually show the pace of the car. Alright, he's right onto the back of young Yuki-san. This will help a bit with the fuel. But, to be honest, we want him to be passed as soon as possible. And there he goes. Great move, Seb. Let's disappear off down the road now.
Looks like Aston Martin have just
I'm well aware, Crofty. Don't worry. Piastri has nearly caught Mick and Gasly. What tyres are they on? They're on hards, so I was going to say maybe we undercut their second stop, but they're not making one. So if we can get there in time, we might be able to save a bit of tyres behind them. But to be honest, I just kind of, as soon as we get there, I probably want to stop them. I feel like we'll clear the Williams now, get him into some fresh air on those hard tyres and just see how far he can go. Vettel's already sprung past Tsunoda, and he's already almost back into the top 10. This is the gap that we're eating into. So if everybody else is one stopping, that's the gap we need to close. If I feel like they are now. We're approaching halfway. But then again, they've started on the hard tyres. I mean, yeah, Hamilton, Bottas, Alonso down to 30%, so they're going to be pitting soon as Leclerc comes in now. Piastri is, we don't want last lap, we want interval. Now 3 seconds behind them. We're probably going to need to bring him in next lap, to be honest, before those tyres completely fall off a cliff. So we'll whack the hard tyres in, we'll see if he can get them to the end. But we'll do it aggressively, so that we've got the option to go onto the soft tyres. Bar a safety car, he's not getting points out of this. Let's be honest. So we might as well be aggressive with it and see what happens. Vettel's come out. Ah, perfect. He's come out just behind Bottas. So we can probably go down to aggressive now and save on the fuel, because he'll have that DRS for a few laps. Although, do we want to get past and get to Alonso instead? Piastri back out then. We'll go aggressive on his tyres.
Yeah, take it easy. Yeah, probably.
I don't know here. So Alonso's, I presume, has gone on to the hards till the end. Yeah, so we're going to have to get past them. Okay, let's stick to strategy. Let's stay aggressive. And see if he can get past Bottas to get to Alonso. Alonso's the one we want to hold on to. Down the inside. Lovely stuff from Seb. Let's break away now. We don't want to bring Valtteri with us.
Aston Martin with a great play there.
Although, let's be honest, we probably will. These tyres are fairly old. Yeah, Valtteri's definitely coming with us. Okay. We might not quite have enough pace for this strategy, but we'll see. We'll give it a go.
Looks like that was a position gain.
Yeah, AlphaTauri, they're terrible everywhere, Liam. Good evening, by the way. Welcome along to the stream. Has Tsunoda improved yet in your playthrough? Or is he still a bit of a liability? Right, let's go to push. I really want to get onto the back of Alonso. That's the interesting thing. We've jumped a lot of them. So the strategy's working. What I didn't quite expect was that all these guys are basically one-stopping. Are they, though? Are they going to get to the 27, 54? I feel like they're going to struggle. So I feel like we were on the right... this is the right move. Probably not with the fuel. We just go for this and see if we can gap them and then attack them later on in the race.
You are joking.
No, we're not, Sebastian. We're not joking. It's one thing we don't do at Aston Martin, it's joke. Oh wait, Lawrence Stroll's gone. We can joke. Well, yes, but also no. Was running second, third at Canada, and he decided to lock up into the wall towards the end. I think if Herta gets picked up in 23, I'll like to do an AlphaTauri playthrough, Operation Overtake the sister team. that would be a good. That's a good series for AlphaTauri anyway, right? But yeah, that's not a yes but no, Liam. That's a straight up no. Even if he's running second and third, if he puts it into a wall and you get nothing out of it, that's still a no. Right, we're into the coattails of Alonso now. This is the good slipstream. This is the promised land. We'll keep an eye on these lap times once they do it. Bottas at 134 last time round. The McLarens are in the 37s. These are the lap times I want to know. If we're gapping these three in this position, then we're in a really, really good place. Because there's no way we're losing this DRS train. We'll just be in it now, which will really help us. My Alphas are almost as quick as the Rebels already on Silverstone. You got any podiums or wins for Gasly yet? Yeah, I feel like the upgrades, me and Fox were talking about that a bit earlier, we feel like it's a bit OP, unfortunately, against the AI. The AI don't seem to do as good a job. Alright, let's whack this back up to 2. How's Piastri doing on his hards? I mean, if there's some second stops around here and we can't get them to the end, okay. He can just take fastest lap at the end to really annoy Verstappen. Right, they should be over the line now. They're matching us. That's not good. Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. They might start to fight. There's quite a group of them back there. Russell, I don't think there's any chance, but it's Ocon and Magnussen that we're worried about for a point. McLaren's have definitely got to stop a second time. It's going to be interesting, this one. We might have completely buggered up our strategy or crash. Do we have a safety car?
Yellow flag. Let's take a closer look. Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell.
Oh, it's Russell. That's good news. As long as he hits the wall, he does. It's a most ridiculous looking crash, but he's obviously got going again. He's going to have to pit though, so that puts him out of the picture. So McLaren's we've got in hand. So I feel like if we do a terrible job from now till the end, then we've got our first point. As long as Sebastian keeps it out of the wall, I feel we've got a point here, which is good news. I like being in this position so we can be a bit more aggressive. It's fairly clear now that we've got a point. Unless those McLarens go to the end, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that to me, would they? They might do that to me, guys. They might. We'll see. Still a long way to go in this race. We're only just past halfway. Only lucky Baku win with red flag and safety cars. A win's a win, Liam, man. You've got to take those opportunities when they come to you. I've not won on pace with McLaren. I've got 2 wins, but they were both, yeah, a bit of luck and a bit of strategy. The car is still like mid-top 10 at best. Still nowhere near the Ferraris and Red Bulls at the end of Season 1. Right, don't lose the slipstream, Seb. That's our only goal here. And we just got to sit in for a bit here, really. Probably another 4 or 5 laps till we need to bring Vettel in. It does look like that gap is increasing to Ocon. No, it's very stable, actually. Well, I got a couple of attempts there. We're looking all right. We're looking all right. As I say, I think we've got the point in the bag. It's just how many of them we get now. good position. I do want to use 4, but at the same time I don't like using 4. I just enjoy the sights and sounds that you can't really hear because of the 2 times speed. I presume they've done that because it would sound awful. Yeah, it does sound quite bad if you turn it up. That's probably why they've done that. Right, the gap to Ocon is increasing. So this is doing our job here. I might go to aggressive to see if we can get a couple more laps out of it. As long as we can stay in the slipstream. Currently, we are targeted to exit in 13th. Which is ahead of Zhou. With the 2 McLarens needing to stop again. Oh, I didn't really figure in... No. Yeah, because Ocon and Magnussen go ahead of us and we'd be 10th if the 2 McLarens pitted. Yeah, no. We have got it right. K-Mag was on for top 6 and then rammed Russell in the back in Miami. I watched some of the stream from yesterday, Fox. I saw that Mario made a clip of it as well. He didn't seem happy by the end, considering Sargent continues to be one of the most unlucky drivers. But you'll get there. You'll get some points. There's a knack to reading the races. Once you start getting that strategy down, and you can start punching above your weight, potentially. And have you had any big upgrades yet, Fox? I feel like you haven't had that many upgrades on the car yet. Which will make a difference as well. Right, we're going to have to attack and push. No, why? I don't want to use fuel. Just attack. Can we get one more out of it?
Okay, happy to lift and coast.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's going to have to be this lap.
Okay, box.
So, in he comes then. This will be the telling moment. Ricardo's the aim here, I think. If we can clear Ricardo's DRS range, we're in a really good place. And Zhou. If we get caught up fighting with them, it could really hurt our race here. Don't know why Piastri... Oh, just save fuel then. I mean, you're 18th. You're not even ahead of Russell and he's lost a front wing. So have you. Upgraded nearly every part but chassis. Oh, okay. I have, to be fair, I've been watching the races of your streams, not the in-between stuff. So
make sure you get your pit limits
I didn't know.
as you come in the pit lane.
Just the luck needed. You'll get it. You'll get there then. K-Mag will get you the points somewhere. Right, come on. Good stop, boys. Out he comes. Where's Norris? So Norris will easily go past. Get on with it. Get on with it, Seb. Get on with it. I think we're good. I think that's going to be comfortably ahead of DRS range. And tyres look good. We can go aggressive. We probably can't go flat out. But we can at least go aggressive on them. So, situation. Sit rep, as the kids say. We've got plenty of tyre life on these guys. I'm sure Norris is going to pit again. Question marks over the two medium tyre runners. But the real question will be whether we have the pace to catch them. So we'll see. Give Seb a couple of laps to get the tyres up to temperature, and we'll see what kind of pace we've got. Piastri, we'll just whack the soft tyres on at the end and go for fastest lap. He's not going to beat anybody today after that crash. But unless we get a late safety car. If we get a late safety car, Piastri's in business because he's got a brand new set of soft tyres available to him. So an unnecessary pit. What? Ours was an unnecessary pit. Yeah, Miami was a big shot. Just didn't pan out. And Logan needs to improve some. But Magnus should be getting points every race weekend. He'll get there. He'll get the luck. And that's the idea, right? Logan develops while K-Mag gets you the points you need to get the championship position. Okay, we're not exactly eating into this, but I'm going to save. I'm not going to go full attack because I feel like we want to save some tyre life for the end to attack if we need to. We need to see how this race is going to shake out and whether we're going to see a second stop from Norris. If we do, we've got our point in the bag. Although Haas is scoring. I didn't factor that. We need to be outscoring Haas and Williams. Haas is scoring. Talking of K-Mag. That's not good news. So we do kind of need to catch Kevin Magnussen here. If they're going to score, we need to outscore them. We are starting to catch them slowly. Oh, no, the Logan pit in my race was on this. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's all about learning strategy, right? I feel like even though the tyres aren't balanced properly at the moment, there is still a good element of strategy in the race. I feel like you can try a good few different strategies. It's not... A lot of people were saying that it's just a one-stop on most cases, and it is, but you can try something else and it can work. I've had a few races where I've just tried a completely off-the-wall strategy, and by running it correctly and getting a bit lucky, it actually does a really good job for you. So it's not an open and closed book necessarily. Right, Vettel is continuing to chip away them. Piastri's continuing to just sort of stick there, but that's what we kind of expect. He's trying to catch George Russell in a Mercedes. Not going to happen on fairly used old tyres. He's still got to save a bit of fuel as well. Vettel probably does towards the end. Should we get that out the way now? So we don't have the situation where we almost run out like last time. No. No. I want to catch these two. I'm going to use the tyre now. Let's get into the DRS. If he can. And then we can conserve everything. That's the problem. I was like, we're going to be full attack mode this this race. As soon as you get towards the end, it's like, I need to conserve now. I need to make sure everything gets to the end. No, we stick with our strategy. It's points or bust. And we've got to presume the McLaren's not going to stop again. I think he's probably not, you know. I think he probably will get to the end by there. I think we are the only team trying a two-stop. Even though all the suggested strategies were two-stops. Which is a bit weird to me. But there we go. Right, Seb is nearly there. He's taking chunks out. Down to 1.8 now. That Williams really helped us. Come on, a little bit more. A little bit more. And then we can look after the tyres a bit. I keep looking back to Piastri and thinking, is there actually anything we can do? Probably not. No, we're losing time. Why are we losing time? Probably because Norris is getting a bit of a tow. Just need to get in that DRS. I'm struggling to do it, you know. I don't think we've got the pace. I think every time we're gaining is when those two start fighting. So we just have to stay in range for them to... Oh, Seb's in DRS. Even though he shouldn't be. But he is. Okay. We'll take it. Verstappen and Sainz pit again. Interesting. So I think we are going to see some two-stops here. Which suggests the rest of the AI do. Ocon pits. Magnussen pits. We've done it, boys. We're home clear. We're going to get some decent points, finally. Unless Vettel fucks it up. Which I really hope he doesn't. Magnussen exits the pits in 16th place. No danger. Ocon may be a danger later on, but that's 12 seconds. I can't see him catching that. Especially considering we can push quite hard here. So I've got to presume... Yeah, they're all going to stop again. We have played this strategy
Looks like Aston Martin
to an absolute T here. Ferrari, eat your heart out. This is how you do it. You believe in yourself and you're aggressive. I mean, Vettel's past Norris already anyway. He's not even pushing. Fine with the tyres to the end. We'll keep an eye on Ocon. But I don't think he's catching us. Perez is out ahead of us. I think we jump Bottas at this stage. We might jump Alonso. So we could be on for 6th place. Piastri not going super aggressive on the tyres might actually get to the end on those. So I might actually just compound that. And somehow he's not getting the fuel back, Piastri. Even though he's conserving, which I don't quite understand. There goes Norris. So no threat from behind now. So it's going to be P8. Alonso and Bottas might be on the one stop here. Because the other guys went onto the mediums, so that's probably why they've stopped again. So it's going to be P8 potentially, if we can hold on. Just like Magnus. P6 just like Magnussen before crying behind your mask. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, looking at it, Alonso and Bottas are on 56% tyres. Piastri, we can probably coax to the end on 53, so I think they're okay. It's whether the AI realises that. Piastri's caught Zhou, incredibly, after his second stop. So he might actually... And he's miles ahead of Mick Schumacher, which I missed. So, you know what? It's a decent recovery after smashing up your front wing. As long as he can make it to the end. Has Ricciardo made his second stop? No. Okay. So we got about 12-second advantage. I can't see them easily into that in 10 laps, especially if Ricciardo's going to hold them up. It's all about what Alonso and Bottas do. Although we're not exactly... I don't know that we're actually in pit range, to be honest. We might be a Bottas. We're doing 34.8s, they're doing 34.9s and... Okay, Ricciardo making a second stop there then. I think we're okay on tyre life. I might attack. Because if Alonso and Bottas pit, we want to be clear of them to give ourselves a chance. And now Ocon's in fresh air, I just want to make sure we keep that gap as well. So we'll have to wait and see. We're looking good. We're looking good. Come on, pit lads, you know you want to. Piastri's finally in the right place, and we might have to start thinking about fuel, you know. Considering how difficult it was for Piastri to save that, I've just thought of that. Have we just fucked ourselves? We might have just fucked ourselves. Please no. Please no. Ah, thank God it's coming down. Is it going to come down? Piastri, again, is in trouble with fuel. He's dropped off the back of Ricciardo and Zhou, but he's got no tyres left, so that's to be expected. don't think... So Alonso and Bottas are staying out, I think. So all we need to worry about is Ocon. So let's just be certain. Because I've found when drivers are attacking, that's when they're more likely to make mistakes, which is fair enough. We obviously don't want him to make a mistake anywhere. And yeah, I don't think Alonso and Bottas are pitting. We would just about clear them if they did, but we're not going to have any tools to fight with anyway, so we might as well just make sure we bring home this P8 here. Make sure we get Vettel's fuel back under control. He can afford to lose more than a second a lap to Ocon right now. Piastri, I think, is actually pretty comfortably going to get to the end of the race. Which is good news. Leclerc absolutely dominating at the moment. Is he one stopped? A Ferrari got the strategy right. Number 1 most unrealistic game. 2022. There's no way they would have made that call. Just no way. Oh, come on, I really need that fuel number to be going down quicker than it is. I wonder if pace commands have an impact on it. This is what's confusing me. Piastri is not saving anything. Maybe it's his driving style, but he's looking at risk of running out of fuel here. See, it needs an AO update. Yeah, I mean, there might be other factors being played. Oh, you meant the Leclerc thing, didn't you? Yeah, no, definitely, 100%. No way would he have got that right. Though I've found so far Verstappen seems to, by the end of the season, be comfortably on top. So, at least in the ones I've seen. So, potentially, it's right in the long run. I don't know. If we run out of fuel here, I'm going to be furious. I've never struggled to save fuel so much. Like, normally if I've got less than a lap delta, I can save it in 4 or 5 laps if I just back off. For some reason, these guys don't want to. Do we go to conserve? Is that going to make a difference? Maybe we go harvest? Is that going to give us some fuel back? We don't want Ocon to get too close here, but just need that fuel number to be on the right side of what it is currently. It's not helping. It's really not helping. This is mad. Like, you should easily be able to tell your driver, like, if you're telling them to conserve, they need to be saving fuel. That number's not gone down for like 4 laps. There's just nothing else you can do. I don't think, anyway. Avoid curbs, driving clean air. Not really going to help us. Do need to change his engine for the next round. That's just reminded me. Well, I'm just going to hope we're okay. I'm going to go to aggressive to make sure, because Ocon's catching me at far too quick a rate right now for me to feel comfortable. Piastri's probably going to run out of tyres the last lap or so, but he's not really fighting anybody. Gasly's pitted again, so he's at least up to 16th. It's a decent recovery. 4 kilograms with 2 laps. That's got to be enough, right? We don't use more than 2 a lap, right? Oh God. He should get over the line. He'll get over the line. We all believe he will get over the line. If we all believe it strong enough. It will be so. 3 kilograms as he comes up to the line. Yeah, it's about 2 a lap. I think he's fine. He's fine. Right? He's fine. Oh, come on, Seb. We need these points. Oh, he's got 2 more laps to do. Bollocks. I forgot about that. I thought he was on his last lap. Oh, God. I think he's going to run out of fuel. Because the fuel saving doesn't work. He's now got... he's used more fuel on conserve somehow. How is that possible? Come on. Oh, let's just get it over with. I know he's going to run out now. 1 kilogram. There's no way he's getting that thing round an entire lap. Why does the fuel save not work? I don't understand. We gave him 10 laps to get 0.8 back. And he's on 0.5. It went up last lap. We're about to lose our first points, I think. Yeah, your tyres are probably struggling, Piastri. I mean, decent recovery, buddy. We've now got 0 kilograms left. Is he checking up? It looks like he's checking up. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Why? Why could we not save it? You... Push him, Ocon. Push him. Oh. I thought it wasn't gonna... He stopped. He stopped. Oh, no.
Probably P9.
Alpine just advanced.
I don't get it,
We
man.
need to retire the car.
Could be.
Like, just save fuel. It's completely a bug. Like, I'd understand if, like, we didn't start saving early enough, okay? But when it stays at the same level, lap after lap after lap, there's something wrong. And there needs to be... Why are you cheering that?
We didn't see Sebastian Vettel at his best here, that's for sure.
Stupid team. You need to have a word with them. It does make 0 sense, man. It makes absolutely 0 sense.
It'll be a somber mood in the team camp, but you can be sure it won't keep them
Well, we
down.
live and learn. What we learn is we've got the pace for a top 10, which is much much improved from where we were, and shows that we should be able to... We have a good few races in up to the first half of the season. We should be able to secure that 8th place, I feel. She's showing us 13th, but it's not. It's a non-classified. Cape, to add insult to injury, K-Mag picks up the point we dropped. So instead of securing our 8th place in the championship with a good 4 points, we would have jumped McLaren. We're still 9th. The board's going to be furious. I'm furious. Piastri's cost us a fortune with a front wing, but he's got a... Nope, no dev point. Okay, we live and learn. We live and learn in this. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Our simulator's upgraded. That's a positive, right? Our team hub's upgraded. But we can't buy a point. We have actually got a dev point with both of them. Cool. Right. It's going to be a shorter one today, guys. I haven't got time to do a second race, so it's just going to be one. We are going to stream again tomorrow night. and we'll try and get 2 in then. But thank you everybody that stopped by, Liam and Fox, and anybody that is watching the VOD after the fact. Thank you everybody on this for the support on the channel actually recently. You guys seem to be really enjoying Motorsport Manager. We got a good boost of views on the 24-hour Le Mans as well. So it's been a really good month. You return to making content and people start watching again. Fancy that, Jay. But we'll be back tomorrow where we'll try to get through Catalonia, Barcelona, and second one will be Monaco, right? Spanish Grand Prix, Monaco. Yeah, we'll have back-to-back races of Spain and Monaco, which will be a pretty exciting couple of races. Thanks, Vox. I'm glad you could join live. Yeah, it's disappointing. Oh, my camera flicker's back. Oh, I can't go off to fix it now. I'll fix it tomorrow. It keeps changing the resolution or the hertz. Yeah, super disappointing, but I feel it has to be a bug. I can't see how we would not save fuel from there. We did everything right. We got the strategy bang on. 8th place in that car was easily the maximum we could have achieved, and by going aggressive on the strategy, we made it happen. But the game just wouldn't let us save the fuel for the last 10 laps, so we're just going to have to suck that up. Watch the roleplay version of that. Vettel's team radio broke, and they had to stick out a sign saying save fuel, but he couldn't read it because the car's porpoising too badly because it's a dog. Right, well, look, thank you everybody that did join tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with a double race, so Spain and Monaco, and we'll probably be streaming this all over the weekend, to be honest. We might get an iRacing or LFM streaming somewhere to try and keep some of the sim racing stuff going, but I'm enjoying this too much at the moment, and the sport on the channel's been great for it, so we'll probably try and get through this as quickly as possible to start making some progress and getting some regular streams in. So take care everybody, enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'll catch you again tomorrow.